The one thing that's tough though now, you have to worry about these like, well, not worry because who gives a shit, but these like campaigns, these online campaigns that people will start, where it's like go review the movie without even watching it. So you don't always know, but Rotten Tomato also 42%. Gal Gadot as the evil queen. I've seen people say that they were rooting for the apple in the movie. We want to see the box office. Show us the box office, baby. Let's see the numbers. You need to give us the numbers. This is a capitalistic society. We want to know, did you fucking win or fail? That's how we judge art in this country, by the fucking dollar sign. The remake of the classic had a disappointing 87 million global debut. Imagine being disappointed by $87 million. That missed 9-figure expectations. It also underwhelmed in the US with a 43 million showing that fell short of the 50 million estimate. I mean, that's not that far off, though. Let's just keep it real. I don't think everybody just said it's woke. Let's not go. Runs the movie. Console told the. I just think it is a bit confusing. It's cross signals. I think a lot of it goes back to the film. The reviews are not good. I think people just think of it and they're like, that movie's a fucking joke. I'm not going to waste my time and my money to go watch it. So point blank period, I think that's what it is. Also, yeah, I mean, when the marketing that you're seeing for it from the actresses and stuff like that is them being like, this is not your story from the 1940s. There's not going to be a man that comes and saves the day in this one. It's like, just the thing is, you're fucking cringing people out. That's the problem. It's like people are hearing that and they're like, oh my God, this fucking person is cringe. I don't want to watch them on a TV screen for an hour and a half. No, thank you. So you're just not pulling them in. So you're not pulling them in from that aspect. Also, stealing the jobs from the poor dwarfs. It's like, fuck, who can get behind that? You know what I mean? Like, there's one dwarf in Hollywood that gets any roles, and his name is Tyrion fucking Lannister. Everybody else, you know, they're not getting shit. They're not even making fucking movies about fucking leprechauns and shit anymore. You know, where are the opportunities for our little people? This is it. When they make a fucking Snow White, that's their fucking. If you're lucky enough as a dwarf to be alive as a dwarf actor, if you're lucky enough for them to make a Snow White live action while you're alive, it's basically like seeing a fucking star combust in the air or seeing a fucking lunar eclipse. It's actually probably more rare than that. You know, you're going to see more lunar eclipses than you're going to see remakes of Snow White. So you got 7 opportunities. Sleepy, fucking grumpy, sicky, fucking all of them. Those are your opportunities. Fit into one of those, you know, and fucking send in your audition tape because this is your big chance. Wish upon a star. They should have just hired dwarfs. What the fuck? Yeah, absolutely. They should have hired dwarfs, and it was like I mean, basically what I'm saying. It's like, how many opportunities do dwarfs honestly get to get a role? Period, to be honest, because they don't even cast dwarfs to play fucking normal sized people and fucking put them on stilts or fucking CGI them because their fucking face would look kind of, you'd still be able to tell they're a dwarf probably. I'm just spitballing here. So what else do we say? It's not tough. They should have just hired dwarfs. Rachel Z does have an incredible voice though. She may have an incredible voice, but whenever she uses it not to sing but speak, people fucking hate it. And it makes them want to fucking throw up. Best streamers. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Thank you, buddy, for posting that in there. Go to streamboo.com. What else we got here? Gal Gadot is a horrible actor. What in the hell? Actually atrocious. Yeah, I mean, that might be true. But it might also be the fucking fact that they didn't hire any dwarfs. And it was a clusterfuck where they hired normie fucking 5 foot and taller people. And then they fired all those people because the backlash, and then they decided to do the dwarfs in CGI. So I think people didn't like that. That just made your movie like a laughing stock. It was completely indecisive on what the vision was. And yeah, people are just like, what the fuck is even going on with the movie? I'm not going to even take a chance to waste my weekend with my family to do that. I got to get right back to my fucking slave job tomorrow morning. I'm not going to spend all day fucking listening to this fucking ungrateful asshole playing Snow White telling us, hey, it's not going to be what they're saying when they're like, hey, it's not going to be your 1940s Snow White where a man comes to save the day. Oh, okay, so it's not going to be, you're going to make a movie, Snow White, that's basically not Snow White at all? Great. Why not just make the other fucking movie? Is always the point. Is all consistently when we have these conversations, that's always the point. Why not just make a new fucking movie? And then, by the way, you would have saved yourself the headache of not hiring the fucking dwarfs because you could have had whatever the fuck other roommates, and you could have saved yourself the hassle of people being like, "Why the fuck are you cutting the Prince Charming, whoever the fuck guy out, or minimizing the role just to make the fictional character feel more empowered as a woman? Give me a break." The Manosphere on YouTube has been on a hate fest on this movie hardcore. Some things are just really easy to hate. That's the thing, you know, and some things really deserve the hate. When you see a bunch of people, regardless of their connection, whether it be Manosphere or fucking Red Pill or all these little groups on online, sometimes when there's universal hate on something, it's not always wrong, is the point. It's actually not. The Stark West thing is hilarious and correct. Yeah, absolutely. It's really a damn shame that they take that away from, they take these dwarves' opportunity to become a star themselves. They're trying to combust. They want to combust on our screens, and we're not allowing them because we don't want to hurt their feelings and make them feel like we're laughing at them. But the thing is, like, was the laugh ever about them being short in the movie? I feel like that was just like, they just happened to be dwarfs. It wasn't really like, I don't know. The thing is, I don't remember Snow White clear enough to be able to say, like, were them being dwarfs like a negative thing? Like, was that like a laughing joke in the movie? I mean, I just remember that being a thing that they were dwarfs and they were sleepy. They had their characteristics. Maybe people are mad. Like, was Tyrion Lannister? Because actually, a lot of this came from actually Tyrion Lannister, the motherfucker, Peter Dinklage. I'll put some respect on his name because he killed it in Game of Thrones, and he was really good in X-Men. What the fuck was that one called? I don't know. The one where he was like fucking president or something. But he was great in that. Great actor, deserves more opportunities, and that's what he was kind of getting to in the moment. He's like, you know, as a dwarf actor, when you're first breaking onto the scene, a lot of the opportunities that you get are these, you know, bullshit, you know, seven dwarfs or whatever. I think he literally used that example. But it's like, that's how you kick in the door, baby. You kick in the door by being the best fucking happy that you've ever seen. You just being a happy little guy. You know what I mean? Like getting on camera, putting your fucking long sleeves on, getting your fucking, you know, nose nice and red and runny, you know, for the scene, and however you do that. And there's some fun ways to go about doing that. And yeah, you know what I mean? Being the best fucking happy that anybody's ever seen. So then they say, you know what? Put a little fucking funny mustache on the guy, give him a bowl cut, and he could be the president in the 1970s. He wasn't the president in that, but he was a character, you know, he was important. And he wasn't, and him being a dwarf was irrelevant, Tyrion Lannister in the X-Men movie. He just happened to be shorter than everybody in the scenes. And honestly, they handled that really well. Just anytime that he was in a scene talking, everybody else had to be seated. That was one thing. You don't want people just fucking towering over him in a scene. That would just look crazy. And there's some just visual things, you know, that we have to overcome when we're talking about putting dwarfs in films. And I get it, you know what I mean? But we can figure it out. So another movie that I wanted to mention before we hop out of here is Alto Nights. I don't know if anybody even knows this fucking came out, because I knew that it was coming, but I was completely unaware that it actually came out. This is the new Robert De Niro movie, and it is about you know, the five families in New York, mafia. You know, this is what he does, mafia films. And he's playing the two leads. He's playing two leaders of two separate families. And I just feel like nobody's talking about this film at all. And really just the combination between that and Snow White made me really think about like movies that have come out recently, and just kind of, I mean, I'm just really considering, like, are theaters for the most part dead, or are they are they actively dying? I know it's kind of felt like that was the case through the pandemic, and theaters really struggled through the pandemic. But ultimately, like, are we at the point where theaters are just like a second thought? It was back in the days, it was obviously like one of the easiest places to take your family and have a nice night out or whatever. It just feels like that's not the case anymore. People are more comfortable waiting for it to come to streaming, and like on the rare occasion, but even like this being a Robert De Niro movie, you feel like there would be more excitement around that. And then the Snow White film, it's like those are no-brainers. That's like something that Disney, 10 years ago should have been able to make a fucking Snow White movie, put it out, and just print money. And now it's just, you can't take that for granted. It's interesting. They just happen to be dwarfs with different single personalities. Yeah, I agree with that. As far as like that goes, I think that them being a dwarf was basically irrelevant. It's just we were getting jobs for the little people, and fucking unfortunately, the fucking Tyrion Lannister, like a son of a bitch, had to just pull that ladder up, as is the case a lot of times. People come up. I'm sure he enjoyed playing many a fucking seven dwarf. He probably played all seven at different points. And you know what? Once he got his opportunities and now he has a name for himself in Hollywood, he's like, yeah, stop doing that. Stop doing that. They need to fucking find other roles to play. So it's just like, classic fucking come in the door and shut it behind you. Poor little people. It really is a sad thing. But yeah, I don't know. I think that we are at the time where movies are kind of dying off. I'm curious to see what ends up coming of movies, to be honest. Like, are theaters always going to be a thing? I'm curious about how you guys feel about that. Are theaters, is it always going to be an option to go watch a movie at the theater, or is it kind of a business model that's going to struggle to last into the next 5-10 years, 20 years? I think we're definitely going to have to see some kind of evolution of what a theater experience is, and they have to find a way to I guess create some disparity between the experience that you feel at the theater compared to the one that you get at home. One thing, people, it's just a more comfortable experience. People have giant screen TVs now, great sound systems. So, there's been a little bit of like the home experience has caught up in that way to a certain degree. Still, I think the theater experience is superior, but even that's gonna continue, I think, to favor the home studio or home entertainment system catching up. So it'll be interesting to see how that ends up playing out. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think that business model is going to have to just evolve. I hope it does. And I just, I just can't really imagine what it's going to be. Like, our theater is going to be more of like a communal experience. I think that's one option where you end up seeing movie theaters where there's more of an emphasis. Like before, it's like a fucking library. It's like, everybody come in here, be quiet, respect to the movie. Maybe it ends up being a situation where you want to see more conversation about what people are seeing, and more of an interactive experience. I don't know, like VR and alternate reality kind of shit like that, virtual reality stuff. I think is really going to come into play, and we'll see. I don't know. Eventually, maybe Elon Musk will let us chip right into the fucking TV screen and be Neo ourselves. That'd be worth it. I had some other stuff, but like I said, like some of it, I really wanted to get into with some folks here. So we will save it for the next pod. I have some wild stuff. Some kids in Florida, by the way, they're going to be able to waive the right to minimum wage. How fucking insane is that? As if it wasn't already bad enough. They're passing a bill so kids can work unlimited hours like adults, and also waive their right to minimum wage because they're getting experience instead. Experience tastes so delicious. Yum. I'm able to feed my family off experience. Yummy. I'm trying to, let's see here. Oh yeah. And then we'll leave it off in this video. This was one of the best videos I think I've ever found on any social media. and I'll play you guys out with this. You guys have a beautiful day. Make sure you subscribe, show some love. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you see when I go live, because it's been a little random, but I'm starting a new job, so I'm hoping that my schedule is going to be more consistent, where I can really have like a day where I'm like, okay, this is my recording day.